Hello, and welcome to another exciting edition of Hidden in the Universal Vault. I'm Ryne, your host, and I'm welcoming you to my review of Xanadu from 1980. Yes, we're taking a look at the infamous Xanadu, or Esquire would call it back when this was released, Xanadu. Yeah, Xanadu. So the movie stars Olivia Newton-John, Michael Beck, and Gene Kelly, which would be his final movie. We're taking a look at Xanadu. This was directed by Robert Greenwell. It was produced by Joel Silver and Lawrence Gordon from a Lawrence Gordon Productions. Universal Presents. So, before I go into the review, I kind of want to show this off. This is the Magic Music Edition. This is a DVD music CD combo. And what I mean by that is we got the DVD right here, and we got the original 1980 soundtrack. So this is actually a pretty neat little piece. This edition was released in 2008, and that's the release I have. That's what I watched. So, what did I think of Xanadu as a film? Sorry about that, guys. It is raining right now. It's like not thundering, but it's raining. So, yeah, this is a interesting watch. Let's talk about Xanadu. I'll try my best to review this without going into much detail. But this was a movie when they were in production. I did watch the featurette. By the way, when I peeled up the saran wrap, it came in this clear, shiny holographic. I don't understand why Universal made a slipcover like this. But yeah, because when you put that in there, it'll look like this. And I didn't want to show off just that. You kind of still see the Xanadu logo embossed. So, yeah. So I'm going to pull that out. We don't need that. So, yeah, Xanadu. Let's talk about it. So, Xanadu follows Michael Beck. He is most famous for the movie The Warriors. That's how I knew him from. Well, Michael Beck plays a man named Sonny. So we're introduced to a woman who comes from another planet. So right off the bat, the movie begins with ELO's I'm Alive. Amazing songs. Let's talk about the songs in here as well. We get Olivia Newton-John's Magic, Suddenly, which is also by Cliff Richards, Dancing, Suspending Time, Whenever You're Away From Me. Yes, Gene Kelly sings one song in this movie, and I'm going to talk about that as well. I'm Alive, The Fall, Don't Walk Away, All Over the World, which I've listened to so much, and Xanadu. I'm a big ELO fan, so that also kind of what sold me into checking this out. I knew about this movie because, for one, key scene. So we'll get to that key scene soon. So basically it follows, like I said, Sonny, he's a painter. So his boss doesn't like what he's doing, and so he's like trying to work it out. Right off after that song, Sonny walks out and bumps into Olivia Newton-John, who's a creature from another planet with 8 sisters. So from this planet. So he falls in love with her. So it's kind of like when I reviewed a movie like Somewhere in Time with Christopher Reeves. Kind of that same story, but put it in musical form. So basically now Sonny is in love with this woman, and she doesn't know she's from this planet. So he meets up with Gene Kelly. I forget his name in the movie. See, they don't say on the back. But Gene Kelly plays this aging musician from the 40s that he once knew. I think of the name. I'm trying to think. Glenn Miller. He once knew Glenn Miller in the 1940s. So this movie feels almost like they were trying to do an 80s Technicolor musical, but falters trying to be because of it being just way too boring. So basically, he's like, they find this abandoned building, and that building, if you see, I showed you the cover before, but this building is where they're going to reopen the place, and that's how he meets back up. So the two of them fall in love, and I want to talk about one key scene. This is not near the end. There's an animation scene from Don Bluth Production. Yes, the Land Before Time guy, Don Bluth, animated that scene, his production company, and it's amazing. So that scene alone, they kiss and they go into animation form. So now the two of them, along with Kenny Ortega, I forgot to mention that not cinematography, but the choreography was done by Kenny Ortega. He would later go on to direct a lot of Disney Channel DCOM movies later in his career, but he started out as a choreographer at first. A lot of people don't know that. Even before Disney became, well, before the Disney Channel. So he did that scene along, and Bluth, there's a featurette on here I talked about called Going Back to Xanadu, and Bluth mentions that they're working on Secret Nim at the time, I believe March of 1980. Joel Silver calls the two men, along with Gary Goldman. That's his collab contributor, collaborator. And the scene alone is where Sonny and Olivia Newton-John's character, they're dancing. Kenny Ortega does the dance scene. So they dance, and all of a sudden they go through the waterfall and they become fish. So they're swimming, they're doing all that, and it's during the song Don't Walk Away by ELO. And it's an amazing song, and it fits perfect. So they're swimming around, they get out of that, and they turn into birds. Basically, I assume Sonny turns into a woodpecker, but I think it's more of a bird, and they just fly away. Bluth said whenever they went into this, they interviewed Bluth and Goldman on there. It was working on, like I said, it was working on Secret Nim, and basically they made that scene during the production of that. So then they're flying, and basically they're flying, they turn back to their human self. So that ends that scene. So now they start to open up the building called Xanadu. I could have sworn Olivia Newton-John's character was Xanadu, but no. It's about a roller rink called Xanadu. Yeah, this also deals with roller skating as well. And they build the roller rink and call it, well, Xanadu. The song Xanadu, which is on the soundtrack. And I would personally say, in my opinion, the soundtrack is the meat of this. Also, the Tubes appear in this movie. Yeah, the Tubes does a song in this movie, and they're great too. In fact, the whole soundtrack is like A+ right there. I love the soundtrack. So I thought, like I said, the scene alone, there are some of those. Those are hidden jewels in what I would like to call a boring movie. The biggest problem with Xanadu is there's so much jump cuts, so much color and transitions. There's so much transitions and jump cuts, I felt confused. It could have been, if they would have took the jump cuts, I wouldn't be as hard as I am. But, I don't know. It's something about this movie. And this was a messy production, because the scene where Gene Kelly is roller skating, you don't see him roller skate. You just see the upper body of his stomach. You don't even see him skate around. Well, you kind of do, but you don't see it too often. So, I don't know, guys. I really want to like Xanadu, because I think it personally has a great idea of what it is. But the question is, does this qualify as Xana-don't? Yes and no. Well, I do think there is a really good story. It just kind of got boring. ELO, that's a positive. Don Bluth's animation, his production company, doing the love scene during Don't Walk Away, where they're dancing and they turn into fishes and birds. That's great. But it's just hindered by a messy script, so much transitions. This was a tough one. I thought I wasn't going to like Xanadu. I thought I wasn't going to like Xanadu because of the many flaws. But I don't know. I was almost going to say guilty pleasure. But again, as I said, this also does come with a trailer and a photo gallery. I don't talk much special features. The back of DVD doesn't show a trailer, but when you go to the special features menu, there is a trailer. It's sort of similar to the Frighteners DVD, where that has a trailer. It's somewhere. But I don't know. I like how the ELO logo is on the back of DVD, letting you know. I don't know if you can see it, but look. That is ELO's logo right there. So, I don't know. I'm going to keep this because I do like the soundtrack. And I will be listening to the soundtrack when I get done with everything. So, is Xanadu bad? No, it's just boring. But it's just... I really wanted to like this. I'm trying to think of anything else in this movie. Is there anything else I can mention? Like I said again, those three things. I don't know. I'm really trying to think of anything else. Yeah, aside from that, but aside from the three things, I just cannot recommend Xanadu. I cannot recommend this movie at all. I mean, it's a messy script. It's extremely boring. I mean, aside from, like I said, ELO, Don Bluth Productions, and the Tubes, I just can't really recommend Xanadu. If you really want to check out the Bluth scene, the Don Bluth ELO song, I'll try to leave a link on the bottom where you can watch that scene in full. But I think it's like, every time I watch that scene, I was like, man, I was hoping the rest of the movie was going to be like that. But at the end of the day, at the very end of the day, I just can't recommend Xanadu. I might have missed a few things. Let me know, but if you really want to check out Xanadu, you can probably check it out for yourself. I didn't even know that Kenny Ortega did the choreography in this. I was very pleasantly shocked because he's a better choreographer than a director, in my opinion. He'll go on to direct Newsies later on in his career. I believe that was his first movie he directed. I don't know. But I really love the Don Bluth scene. That alone is kind of worth it to check this movie out just for that scene. But unfortunately, it's a messy, boring script. So let's go ahead and rate it right now. I'm going to give Xanadu a 2 out of 5. I really, 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 really wanted to like this movie. I thought the movie was going to be a ton of fun. It was going to be like those old musicals. And I guess because of Olivia Newton-John's popularity in the movie Grease, kind of got that. Gene Kelly doing one more movie, making his last movie. But oh yeah, I want to talk. That's right. I want to talk about Gene Kelly's singing. There's a song in this. I think it's called "Whenever You're Away From Me." Gene Kelly just doesn't have that much of a good singing voice. Also, Kenny Ortega said that Gene Kelly didn't want to dance no more. He was done with dancing, so he just wanted to be done. But Kenny Ortega wanted him to come back and do one more dance number. But he just said, sorry guys, I'm not a spring chicken, I can't be doing it. That's according to Gene Kelly's widower on the DVD. Like I said, this featurette was really good. It's called Going Back to Xanadu. In this all-new retrospective documentary, the cast and crew discuss the making of Xanadu and its lasting legacy. I did watch that featurette, but that's really about it. I really, 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 really want to like it, but I just said, when your script is just this boring, it's really hard for me to say, check out Xanadu. But if you really want to check out Xanadu just for that scene alone, I'll leave a link on the bottom of the video and you guys can go ahead and check that out if you want to. But that, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, Xanadu is just not for me. So, but if you are interested, I guess check it out. I'm not going to stop you guys from watching. Maybe you guys might find this the greatest musical ever made. And I just, with a movie that just kind of got me boring, kind of got me bored, and so many jump cuts and transitions, again, it would have had, and the ending kind of didn't make any sense. Yeah, I want to kind of briefly talk about that ending. It made no sense. The ending did not really resonate on what this movie would. But like I said again, if you guys want to check out Xanadu, you can if you want to. But I would say look for the Magic Music Edition. That will give you that soundtrack with it. I'm going to have to keep it because of the soundtrack. But we'll see. I'm not sure if this is going to be on the worst list. We'll see. So anyways, that's my review of Xanadu. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you do like the content on the channel, you can like, comment, subscribe, click the bell, ring the bell to get all my video notifications so you don't miss a single video on my channel. I'm also on Letterboxd, guys, so you guys can check me out there. And that's where I rate the movie before I record the video. And I think that's about it, guys. Yeah, so go ahead and check my Letterboxd page, check my YouTube page, tons of videos on there, lots of Universal stuff. So, yeah, so if you want to watch, but yeah, like I said, can't really recommend Xanadu, but you guys might find something out of this. So, yeah, and that's it. And as always, keep watching those Universal movies, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.